Come on, how's everything going? I am going to, we're going to talk about setting your macros and setting your starting macros and why, hitting that calculator over and over and trying to hope for a different number, right? That's a lot of people do that, thinking that can't be right or this isn't working. And so I wanted to go over the process of, first of all, calculating your starting macros, and then what do you do with that information. So, I wish that I could, I guess I could just put up, it's just gonna be backwards, but how is everybody? So you can go to my, no, it's wrong. You can go to the link in my bio, which is that little circle there, and that is going to take you to the online calorie calculator. It is completely free. All right, so the first thing to do would be to get your maintenance calories. And so it's just going to take a little bit, right? Maybe like 1 minute or less to calculate your macros. And then from there, what do you do? So when you go to calculate your macros, when you use that calculator, make sure that you are putting in a pretty accurate representation of what your daily lifestyle is like. So if you are maybe a restaurant server or something like that, you're going to be fairly active throughout the day. If you're somebody that is like me, right, you're sitting here at a desk a lot, then you're going to be mostly inactive during the day. So you want to make sure that you have your daily activity in as well as your exercise activity. So it's two different things. So what is your daily activity like, and then what is your exercise activity like, and then that is going to dictate where those calories are. Now, also, you're going to need to know, you have this information already, your age, your height, your weight, and your sex. And so when you plug that information in there, then it's going to give you your maintenance calories. So maintenance calories are the amount of calories that your body needs. In maintenance, you're not going to be gaining weight and you're not going to be losing weight. Now, the majority of my time is spent in maintenance. So I would say 6 months out of the year, I am in maintenance. I'm not losing weight. I'm not gaining weight. The other 3 months, I am in a build phase. So that means I'm in a caloric surplus. And so I am trying to actively put on more muscle onto my body. And then I would say for 3 months, I'm also in a cut phase. So right now, in a deficit. So right now, I just started in a deficit like 3 weeks ago, like 28 days or something like that. So almost a month. So, but I'm not always on a diet. I spend a lot of my time at maintenance. And so I do miss my calories. I am, in a cut. And let's see, I think I've lost, I usually weigh on Monday. So I'm guessing somewhere between 2 and 3 pounds in about 28 days. So the first thing that you need to know is your maintenance calories. So get that starting number, and then we can go from there. So, thank you for that. So tired of eating clean and not dropping any weight. Yeah, I was there, my friend. I was definitely there, and I did juicing, I did cleanses, I did fasting, I did all kinds of stuff, and to no avail. Or I would lose some weight and then I would just gain it right back, lose, gain, and it was just exhausting. And so figuring out this piece is really important. A lot of times, people are spending way too long in a deficit. And so when you do that, you down-regulate your metabolism. And so now your body's used to those lower calories. Now the only thing that you can do is eat less to get those results, or bring it back up to maintenance, and then you can resume a diet after spending some time in maintenance. So first things first is you're going to need to figure out your maintenance calories. So you can use my online calorie calculator to do that. That's going to be the easiest way. It is based on the Benedict Harris formula, which if you've ever looked up the Benedict Harris formula, it's quite the equation to figure out. So easiest way would be to just use my online calorie calculator. So it says 2446. All right. So that is your maintenance calories. Now, a lot of you are going to hit your calories, right? Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So a lot of you might be hitting your calories, your maintenance calories, and being like, geez Louise, like if I ate that much, I would gain weight. So that would indicate to me that you are not eating enough calories right now, or you're always on a diet. And this is super, super common. All right. So this is the exact thing that happens. And I was on a diet for freaking 20 years. So I get it. That's how we're told. It is hot as hell up here. I'm gonna put my hair up. So we're told that we always have to be on a diet, and right now, you have to eat less, exercise more to lose weight. So we get stuck in that vortex of not losing weight and always eating low calories. And it's like the Bermuda Triangle. Nothing is happening. And so what do, right? You have to bring your calories up to maintenance calories. Now, you should not gain weight in maintenance. Maintenance is losing weight or gaining weight. So here's the trick. Your body's used to lower calories right now. Your body will also, thank you for the rose. You're awesome. So awesome. Thank you. Make sure you hit those likes too, guys. Smash those likes if any of this makes sense to you, or if this doesn't make sense to you, smash those likes, and I will do my best to explain this. So when your body will get used to the higher calories, okay? Maintenance is where your body wants to be. Thank you so much. That's where your body is the most comfortable. This is the optimal place for calories, and we can't always be on a diet. So what's going to happen is if you start eating at maintenance, you're probably going to, it really depends on where you're at for calories now. I don't know if you want to share that with me, Michelle, but so your maintenance calories are 2,400, 2,450 we'll say. But if you're eating like 1,500 calories and you're not losing weight, then that just means that your body is now used to those lower calories. And so I know it's scary to be like, oh my gosh, I have to eat 2,400 calories, right? I wish I could eat 2,400 calories, 2,450. But I can't. My maintenance is just under 2,000. It's like 1,950, and maintenance is a pretty good leeway, right? You have a lot of leeway. If you go over like 500 calories in your maintenance, or you go under it, like you're still going to maintain on your maintenance calories. So bring your calories up. I prefer a faster approach than a slow approach, but whatever feels comfortable for you, that's going to be what works for you. For me personally, you have to spend at least 8 weeks in maintenance, at least 8 weeks in maintenance. It depends on how long you've been dieting, but before you can even attempt another diet. So anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks. But the thing is, the clock doesn't start ticking until you actually get to those maintenance calories. So you can add 50 calories on a week. You can add 100 calories on a week. But if you're at 1,500 trying to get to 2,500, that would take 10 weeks for you to get to those maintenance calories, and then you're going to spend more time on that. So if you're stuck not losing weight where you are anyways, then wouldn't it be more fun to be eating more calories and not losing weight? That's not a trick question. So here's the thing with maintenance, and I know it's scary. I know it's scary and it's counterintuitive, but maintenance calories is where you're not going to be losing or gaining. Now, what happens is you start bringing on more calories. What your body was used to lower calories. Initially, you will gain some weight. So it's normal to gain anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds, and then just level out. But that happens right away. And most of that is not especially like in that first week, you're going to gain 3 pounds, right? In that first week. And then after 10 days, then that should go down. So that is water weight, right? There's no way that you could gain 3 pounds of fat in 3 days. It just isn't physically possible unless you ate 10,500 calories over your maintenance. Then it would be possible. But here we are trying to get you to eat more calories, so you're probably not going to be eating 10,500 calories over to gain 3 pounds. But what happens is now you have more food in your body, right, in your container. And so, of course, that's going to weigh more. And water weight is definitely going to be the bigger part. Gut content and water weight is what's going to lead to that scale having a higher number. It doesn't have anything to do with fat. A lot of the number of the scale has nothing to do with your actual fat, okay? So there's so many reasons why that scale number is different. A lot of it has to do with hydration. So you could either be dehydrated and then you'll have like a lower number, or you could be retaining water because of like a salty meal that you had. Maybe you haven't pooped that day, when you weighed in, and so that's going to lead to some weighting on the scale. Or maybe you are inflamed or sick. That is going to lead to weight on the scale. Or maybe you crushed a workout 2 days earlier or the day before, and so now you have inflammation from that. So there's a lot of reasons why that scale weight is going to go up that have nothing to do with fat on your body. So this is why I rely on measurements for my clients, because we want to see what's happening with measurements. Now, the thing that happens when you bring your calories up to maintenance is your measurements will go down. And so instead of freaking out about the scale weight, you will see that now once you start getting the calories that your body needs, then you will see measurements going down, and mostly from belly, right? So you won't see chest measurements go down that fast, right? That's usually a slower process, but what we do see is abdominal measurements going down. And I love this body measuring tape. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just like this tape because, and I'm just showing a chest measurement because that's where I'm sitting here. So it has little buttons so you can get like nice and snug with it, and then you can just grab that value easier. Ooh, 35. So rely on measurements rather than scale weight when you are trying to shoot for fat loss. All right, so now that you have your measurements, now that you have your maintenance calories, right? So if you hit the calorie calculator to figure out your maintenance calories, now what do you do with that? If, like I was just talking about, if that number between is very large, is a very big number difference between where your maintenance calories are and what you're eating now, then most likely you need a reverse diet if you are not losing weight. If you're like, oh, I eat way more than that, right? So then we'll go to maintenance. But to lose weight, start with taking 300 calories away from your maintenance calories. And then give it 2 weeks. If nothing is happening and you're being pretty accurate with your measurements, right, with your intake, with what you're recording as far as what you're bringing in for food, MyFitnessPal is great for this. MyFitnessPal isn't great for setting your calories, all right, because you go and put it in to lose 2 pounds a week, and that's going to put you into 1,000 calorie deficit, which is not sustainable for most people. And that's going to just have you eating 1,200 calories during the week, and then you're going to be on the weekend and you're going to be like, I can't do that, So go into a moderate calorie deficit, and then we have more wiggle room to go to take from. So your calories are 2446. So after you've spent some time in maintenance for you, then you would take 300 calories away. And so now you're sitting at 2150. Give that 2 weeks and see what happens. And then if nothing is happening, then you can take another 100 and give that 2 weeks, and then go, right? So the thing is if you have not spent enough time in maintenance to get used to those higher calories, then this is probably not going to work. So this is why the diets aren't working, is because you have down regulated your metabolism, and now the only thing that you can do is eat way less, which I highly do not recommend, or spend some time in maintenance. This is the way that you are going to finally achieve that weight loss and keep it off sustainably without being miserable, and then be able to go on and live the rest of your life instead of always being on a damn diet over and over and over, losing the same damn pounds over and over and over. So hit the likes if any of that makes sense. Hit the likes if you're confused as hell. Thank you very much for the likes. I appreciate it. All right, so what questions do you have? Because I know you're not doomed. No, you're not. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? I'm going to go ahead and friend request you guys too. I don't think I can ever lose. All right, so have you figured out your maintenance calories? Ocala VIP. I'm following. So have you calculated your maintenance calories? To do that, go to the link in my bio and use the calorie calculator, and that's going to give you your maintenance calories. Maintenance. So if you're always hungry, you're not eating enough. That's like sign number one that you're just not eating enough. That's your body signal saying, "Hey, we need more food." And people get stuck with that, always being on a diet, and it just stops working, right? Your body is just used to those lower calories. And so what I'm saying is bring it up to maintenance calories. Your body is going to get used to maintenance calories too. So it's just way more fun to be eating at maintenance calories instead of always being in a deficit. Trust me. I've been in a deficit for like 28 days now. It's not too bad because it's only, I think we're at 350 calories for a deficit, and it's working, so I'm totally fine with that. But as you get smaller, then you're going to need a little bit less calories, and people don't tell you that, right? So for every 10 pounds that you lose, you're going to have to recalculate your macros. So, what should I eat to get to 24, 40, 60? Girl, you can eat whatever you want, but make sure too that you're getting the protein that it says. Make sure you're getting the protein recommendations, because that's going to make the biggest difference. So, my coach, Sandy, she's not my coach. She's the coach that works for me for Catalyst Fitness. She's a bariatric nurse. So, that puts a different twist on things for sure. So, it's going to be hard for you to eat your maintenance calories and then take away from there, because that's what's going on, is your body is down-regulated and is just used to those lower calories. And so that is what is going on, my friends. 40 pounds gone. All right. So again, figure out what, you don't need to stay away from anything, Michelle. Well, there's nothing to stay away from, especially if you're trying to hit 2,440 calories, right? 2,446. Let's just call it 2,450. I hate uneven numbers. So for 2,450, we're looking at things like rice, pasta, potatoes, bagels with cream cheese. You can have cookies. Make sure that you're getting in plenty of fiber, right? Make sure that you're getting in at least 25 grams of fiber, and then drinking plenty of water, and then getting close to your protein goals. So you definitely want to be making sure that you're having at least 0.7 grams per pound of body weight, or up to 1 gram per pound of body weight, but not if you're 170 pounds or more. I wouldn't suggest eating over 170 grams of protein per day. It's just a lot to take in for sure. And protein is going to, so that one lady, I use my Fitness Pal. So I do love my Fitness Pal for that. I don't love what it sets you for calories. So make sure that you use my online calorie calculator to put in the calories into my Fitness Pal. Don't put in to lose 2 pounds a week, because that's going to be 1,000 calorie deficit. That's that's just too much. But as far as like what can you eat, yeah, so you can put all that information into the calorie calculator, and that's going to give you your maintenance calories, and then just deduct 300 calories from there to start with. So I would imagine you're probably going to have a good amount of calories as well, probably around the 23. I don't know how active you are, so that's why that calorie calculator is there. And then you could put in what most accurately represents your lifestyle. But yeah, there's no reason to eliminate foods. The only time I would say not to have something is if it doesn't make you feel good, right? If you have, if there's a food that you just can't tolerate for your belly, then that's the food that you avoid. Other than that, there's no reason that you have to. There's no reason to give up foods. All right, Autumn, I've lost 30 pounds. Now I have excess skin. How do you get rid of that? That is through surgery. Right? There's nothing that you can do about excess skin. And it depends too, like, was that like a rapid fat loss? So, but either way, even if you have, a slower rate of loss and the skin can shrink back, you're still going to have excess skin. So there's really nothing that you can do about that besides surgery, unfortunately. So yeah, I lost 25 pounds, and then I do definitely have some excess skin, and it is what it is. It used to bother me, but now it's starting to kind of shrink a little bit, but I mean, it's fine. It's not like I'm going to do anything, like I don't need to do anything about it, but that's just kind of one of those things that happens with weight loss. So you're welcome. You are welcome. All right, so now that you have your maintenance calories, going into a moderate deficit, see what happens. Give it 2 weeks in a moderate deficit. So what I'm talking about, a moderate deficit, is 300 calories. If that doesn't work, then you go to 400 calories. So give it 2 weeks though, right? So make sure that you're logging accurately. Make sure that you're counting all the cooking oils, even the sprays that you're using, all the little bites, licks, and tastes. It's very possible that you are eating more than you think that you are. And so once you start tracking that with an app called, I use MyFitnessPal. There's a ton of apps out there, but for me personally, I use that for my clients because it connects with True Coaches, which is where I'm giving their workouts. It's delivered in workouts. So, all right, Autumn, had all my tests done yesterday, and EP and cholesterol, LDL, everything was excellent. This is after. Vegetarian diet worked fantastically. I never would have thought. All right. So, so that is good news, right? Very good news. So now that you know, right, what your maintenance calories are and then what you need to do to lose, you don't want to keep dieting, right? You can't always stay in that deficit. So what I recommend, do you track fruits and vegetables as well in your calories? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't do this net carbs bullshit either. So calories are calories, right? Calories are energy. So everything that you put into your mouth is going to be a calorie, is going to give you energy. And so that does count. Fruits, so vegetables don't have a ton of calories. You can have a big plate of broccoli and it will only have 40 or 50 calories. Some fruits are going to have more calories than others, like a banana, a small banana is 100 calories. Doesn't mean bananas are bad, just means it has 100 calories. So things like raspberries, you can have 2/3 of a cup of raspberries, and that's only 50 calories. So, and tons of fiber. So it's important to get in your fruits and vegetables for the fiber. I eat a lot of well, I don't a lot. I eat a good amount of spinach. Always surprised when I put it in that it has like protein in there. It's like, wow, it's just kind of crazy that it has a little bit of protein. Thank you very much, Michelle. So the process for this diet. So if you are under consuming calories right now, then you're going to need to spend time in a maintenance to reset your calories. The time to spend in maintenance is 8 to 10 weeks. Now, however long it takes you to get to maintenance calories, you're going to be adding on to that time. I do too. I just had a spinach salad with strawberries, and I had those glazed pecans, which I love, with some chicken, and I had the Skinny Girl raspberry dressing, which was, and goat cheese. So that's like one of my favorite salads for the summer. Love it. Love. All right, so spending the time in maintenance, and then as far as dieting phases, you can't just keep dieting. You have to give that a break too. So spending anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks in a fat loss phase, and then taking a short diet break, and then keep repeating that process until you finally get to your desired weight. You cannot always spend your time in a diet. It's not good for your metabolism. It's not good for your hormones. You get diet fatigue. And so it's a great idea to take a 2-week diet break and then just keep resuming. And so every 10 pounds, you're going to have to recalculate your macros. Does intermittent dieting work? I think you might be asking about intermittent fasting. So I think if you can stop eating after 6, then that would be an effective way for intermittent fasting. But I think a lot of people just put off eating until like noon or 1, when really you need those calories available to you in the morning. It doesn't make sense to have all your calories later on in the day when you don't need that energy. It's better to have those calories up front so that you can use that energy and then shutting it down at 6. So, getting all your food in a shorter window. I do not do intermittent fasting. I have, because I freaking done everything, but I don't follow an intermittent fasting diet. It's just a way of controlling calories. There's no magic with intermittent fasting. It's just a way of controlling calories. So that's all. So every 10 pounds that you lose, you'll have to recalculate your macros, and then just keep following that process, right? 8 to 10 weeks in a diet, 2-week diet break. 8 to 10 weeks diet, 2 weeks diet break, until you hit your goal weight. And then you're going to go back to maintenance, right? So with that diet break, you're going back to your maintenance calories. And then you go back to maintenance, and that's where you stay happily ever after, is at your maintenance calories. You can't just go, right? So you've lost weight. So say your maintenance is like 2,000 calories, and Chris Mitchell Jazz is inviting me to go live. I'll answer the question about the macros in just a second. So if your maintenance is 2,000 calories, once you lose weight, you're probably going to have a new maintenance calories. And so you can't just be like, get off the diet and then just, go hog heaven, right, with the calories, because then you're just going to gain the weight back. So, that's what maintenance is that you're not going to be losing or gaining weight. So macros are just what makes up your calories. So there is carbohydrates, fats, and protein, and that's what makes up your calories. So I don't, you know what, you do you, but I don't prioritize organic over regular vegetables. I just have my freaking vegetables, right? Especially with the price of everything right now, I'm just having vegetables. So and is there really a difference? Who can say like what they are putting on their vegetables? So it's really, if you prefer to eat organic, then go for it. So, let's see. So, thank you for the panda. So the way to manipulate, you could manipulate macros to be effective, and that would be by increasing your protein, making sure that you're getting at least 30% of your calories from protein, making sure that your fat isn't too low. This calorie calculator is going to tell you exactly what to eat for macros, right? You don't have to figure it out. It's going to tell you. So eat that much protein, eat that many calories. It doesn't really matter where the carbs and fats are, as long as you are prioritizing protein and then getting in the calories. One day you could be over in fats because you had some cheese and bacon and chili or something like that. One day you could be over in carbs because you had maybe some alcohol or something like that. So it's not as important, those numbers, as the total protein, making sure you're getting in the protein, and then the total calories. So I hope that makes sense. You don't have to complicate it. I know macros sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So that will give you the guide on what to have for protein and what to have for calories. Is this a question, or I do both. So, but I think if your protein goal is 150 calories, it's going to be hella hard to get it with just plant protein. Just saying. All right, so this is a whey protein. This is 26 grams of protein right here. I mix this into non-fat Greek yogurt, which is going to get me 42 grams of protein. So that's pretty hard to do on a plant-based diet. Not one isn't better than the other. If you eliminate animal protein, you're eliminating a whole host of amino acids that your body needs. So having both is essential. It really is for health, for optimal health. That doesn't mean that you can't do it, but just imagine all the vitamins and minerals that you're eliminating when you eliminate an entire food group. So just think about that, Oh, thank you. I try. There's a lot of, there's just so much information out there, and there's a lot of it is contradicting with everything. There's always going to be one side, there's always going to be two sides to everything. But, you'll look and like coffee's good, no, coffee's bad. You shouldn't have too much caffeine. Like caffeine was bad, and fats are bad, and now they're good again, and all this stuff. It's so confusing, and it's like no wonder nobody knows what to eat anymore, right? I should eat organic? Like, you don't have to eat organic. I need to cut out dairy because someone said that you should give up dairy. Right? So, there's so much conflicting information out there. It is crazy, right? Food is energy. Just think of it that way. Coffee is good. Coffee is essential. So there was that whole, hey, to stoke your metabolism, you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours. I do not eat every 2 to 3 hours. Maybe I do, but I don't on purpose. So I usually have breakfast around 8 o'clock, and then before the gym, so I'm going to be carb loading that meal, and then when I get home, then I'm going to have a protein shake. Then I wait a couple of hours, and then I have lunch. And then I'm always going to have some kind of chocolate with my 2 o'clock coffee, and then I have dinner around 6 or so. So I guess that's I don't know. I just eat when I'm hungry. I don't have there's no rules, as far as that goes. There's definitely as far as timing goes, it's going to be more advantageous to have a meal before you go to the gym, because then you're going to have the energy to go in there and kick ass. And then you want to have that protein after to help rebuild the muscle that you just kind of broke down. So that's why I do that. I tend to have my bigger meals. It's all I eat a lot for lunch. So I eat 600 calories for breakfast, and then I eat about another 600 calories for lunch, and then I have 100 calories in chocolate, and then I put cream in my coffee. So then by dinner time, it could be a smaller meal. Like tonight, it was salad. I had a salad with chicken on it, but I don't sit here and eat salads all damn day. I had, what did I have for lunch? I had sea bass with some rice and some mixed vegetables. So I tend to eat more of my food earlier on in the day and then just have a lighter meal. I'm not hungry, right? But that's because I eat so much, you know. Now I am in a dieting phase, so I'm a little bit more hungry than usual, but to combat that, being hungry, I will prioritize making sure I have like a huge amount of vegetables. That way it's more voluminous, it's taking up more space in my belly, and I'm not hungry. All right, so on MyFitnessPal, if you're out and have a hamburger on a bun, how do you know what the calories are? So just list it as, so you can either say McDonald's has their burgers listed in MyFitnessPal, or maybe you're at like Ruby Tuesday and they have their burgers are on there. So you can just base it on that, right? Or you can just log the a hamburger bun and then like a 6-ounce patty. And then it depends on what else you're having with that, right? Are you having fries? You gotta put the fries in. Are you having bacon and cheese on that? I hope so. So you want to log that as well. And then any of the condiments. You don't have to log mustard. Mustard doesn't have calories unless it's like a cream mustard. The calorie calculator. So this is going to calculate, if you go to the link in my bio, that's going to calculate your maintenance calories. That's to figure out your calories, and it's going to tell you how much protein to have, how much carbohydrates to have, how much fats to have, how much total calories to have. And then to keep track of that, then you would use MyFitnessPal. So that is the easiest way, honestly. And then you can scan stuff. Like if you use MyFitnessPal, you can scan things, but restaurants, they have like all the restaurants are in there. So, you know, it shouldn't be super complicated. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass at first, but as you start logging in foods into MyFitnessPal, it remembers them. So you're kind of making your own database of what you're having. And so, you know, you're never going to be completely accurate with calories. The calorie counts on foods are wildly inaccurate. So it's all just as kind of a guesstimate anyways, right? So, but as long as you're in range of your calories, so if you are in a fat loss phase, you definitely want to be within 50 calories, plus or minus. Now, if you're 50 calories plus all the time, then that's going to push you outside of like being in a deficit. But you do have that leeway. So if you go over 50 calories one day, that's not the end of the world, trust me. When you're in maintenance, you have way more leeway. So say you go like your maintenance calories are usually pretty high, right? They're going to be anywhere from 18 to 2,200 calories for most women. So that's a decent amount of calories to have every day. I love being in maintenance. I would rather be in maintenance than where I am at right now. But by August, I'll be back to my maintenance phase. I'm just trying to take down, I got like another 5 more pounds to lose. And then we need to see like how much muscle did I put on with this last build phase. So that's kind of the point of that. I feel like I was going somewhere with this, but now I don't know. You're probably right. You're probably right, Marianne. But that doesn't mean you've destroyed your metabolism, right? You can support it by eating at maintenance calories. So, but this is everybody this was me. This is all my clients that I work with. This is the situation, you know? And so it's not unusual for me to get on a phone call with somebody, right? If you book a phone call with me, then we're going to figure out like what's going on and see if my program would be a good fit for you. I try to keep things as easy and simple as possible. I want you to work out at least 3 days a week, and I want you to eat within a certain amount of calories and get your protein in, right? That's my rules, you know. A couple more, you know, maybe making sure you're getting in plenty of water and getting in daily steps and not hammering away at the cardio. That is it in a nutshell. But when we're having the conversation, I will ask, like, what does a typical day of eating look like? And this is almost verbatim, and smash those likes if this sounds familiar at all. Well, I don't really have breakfast. I don't have time for breakfast, so I just grab a coffee. Maybe I'll grab a protein shake, or a bar, but usually I don't eat anything. I'm not even hungry. And then for lunch, I will have a salad with with some protein. And then when I get home, then I will have dinner, like a little bit of protein with some vegetables. And then for some reason, I start snacking and I can't stop. Does that sound familiar at all? So that's generally the phone call. Or what I hear, this is the other one that I hear, I eat healthy. I eat healthy, and I'm like, oh shit. When I hear that, right? I eat healthy. That means you're not eating, right? Is pretty much what I get from that. And so, yeah. And then there comes all the rules, all the food rules. Yeah. Well, I don't do this. I don't do that. I definitely don't do this, and I will never do that. And so that's. But yet here they are, stuck, not losing weight, and it's because of those things that you're not losing weight. Right? But we continue to keep doing these things. So it's kind of crazy. So here's the thing. In your 30s and 40s, we used to be able to just take down the calories, rev up the cardio, lose weight, and then it was fine, right? And then it just gets harder and harder. Or we have more weight to lose, or it takes longer to come off, but then it goes on frighteningly fast. And so this is what happens. It used to be so easy to go on a diet and lose weight, right? No problem. And then each time you do that, it gets a little bit harder. So it's just this cycle. And then in mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s, it just stops working. Why? Because of the hormonal changes that your body's going through with perimenopause and menopause. So now it's a whole different ballgame, ladies. It's a completely different ballgame, and your body is super reactive to stress. And so that's what's going on. Now, dieting in and of itself is a stress to the body. So you're just adding more fuel to the fire. Now, let's add some cardio on there, right? And let's stress out our bodies even more. Okay, awesome. Put some lighter fluid on the flame. And just let's create this huge bonfire of stress, and then never mind daily stress. And we're glued to the news looking at like all these events that are heartbreaking and tragedies, and like there's just all this external stress, and something's got to give, and that's when you get stuck with weight loss. The body is not concerned about losing weight. You are, right? That's like your top priority, but your body's top priority is to keep you alive. And so what it's doing is, when you don't give it the calories that it needs, it down regulates, and that's what's leading to belly fat and weight gain. You not eating enough is the reason why you are storing fat. And so now you are in a fat storing mode instead of a fat burning mode. If you simply just brought your calories up, you would have more energy and you would stoke your metabolism, and that would cause you to be able to lose weight. I just hit my step goal. Talking with my hands. So, all right, I'm 56 and I have been in every diet. I have lost weight in intermittent fasting, but not losing anymore. I don't know what to do. So I don't know how long you've been listening for. I just kind of gave the whole shebang, and I'll post this onto YouTube as well. So, but this was me as well. But I figured it out around by the time I was 48. So thank God. So, it just sounds like you're not eating enough calories, and that's what happens. So how long before your body gets better? So eating at maintenance. So it sounds like maybe you have been on a deficit for too long. And so I just told everybody to when you go into a dieting phase, that you're going to diet for 8 to 10 weeks, and then you're going to take 2 weeks at maintenance. And then you just keep repeating that process until you hit your goal. You can't always be on a diet. So before you start your next diet, you're going to need to reverse diet back up to maintenance calories. And then you want to stay in maintenance calories for 8 to 10 weeks before you attempt another diet. So 8 to 10 weeks in maintenance, and then you go 8 to 10 weeks in a moderate calorie deficit, and then take a 2-week break until you hit your goal, and then you go back to maintenance and live your happy life, right? So, however, it might take you some time to actually get to the maintenance calories. So that is going to add to that time that you spend in maintenance. So if you're at, say, 1,300 calories and your maintenance calories are 2,200 calories, I would recommend getting 2,200 calories tomorrow and then staying in maintenance for 8 to 10 weeks. If you drag it out, and it's up to you, right? You can add 50 calories each week or 100 calories each week. The timer doesn't start until you actually hit the 2,300, so, or whatever number I said. I forget what I said. So just bear that in mind, right? It's 8 to 10 weeks in maintenance, but if it takes you 10 weeks to get there, you're adding on time, which, and what, we got nothing but time, honestly, so this isn't something that you're just going to get ready for a wedding for, so, but it is almost 10, and I am ready for a glass of wine. So I am in a fat loss phase, and so right now I'm drinking lighter wine. It's like 70 calories per glass. It's the Illuminate by Kim Crawford. Yeah, so it's only 70 calories a glass. So I'm not ruining my diet by any means. So thank you very much for all the likes and for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And I'll be here again next week at 9 o'clock. Thursday should be around 8 o'clock. Thursday will be earlier, around 8 o'clock. So thank you very much for hanging out. And hopefully this gets recorded and then I'll put it onto YouTube. But the link to my YouTube is here. I believe it's Kathy Catalyst. Anyways, Kathy with a K, Catalyst with a K. And thanks, ladies. I'll see you soon. Bye.